AITA for divorcing my depressed wife because her depression and depression-induced spending are dragging me down? My wife, 36F, and I, 35M, met about 10 years ago. I was in an MBA program, and she was finishing up her certification to become a nurse anesthetist. We were both incredibly driven, ambitious, and optimistic about our futures. We bonded over our shared goals, our love for traveling, and our plans to build a great life together. After graduation, we both landed incredible jobs. Her at a prestigious hospital, me at a consulting firm. I started at $200,000 a year, and she made around $150,000 before overtime. We were financially comfortable, owned a beautiful home, and spent our free time traveling, dining at the best restaurants, and simply enjoying life. We talked about kids, but we agreed to wait until we felt even more established in our careers. Everything was going according to plan, until it wasn't. 3 years ago, everything changed. My wife had a full-blown mental breakdown at home in the middle of the night after a particularly grueling shift at the hospital. It was terrifying. She was crying, shaking, and completely inconsolable. I had never seen her like that before. The next morning, I insisted that she see a doctor. A few appointments later, she was diagnosed with severe depression and anxiety. It got so bad that she was eventually hospitalized for a few weeks. When she came home, I told her to take time off work to heal. We agreed that she would take 6 months off, and I would take care of everything, financially, emotionally, and practically. At first, I was 100% on board. I love my wife, and I wanted to support her through this. I encouraged her to go on trips, take up hobbies, and do whatever she needed to feel better. But then things started to go off the rails. She started spending a lot of money. I'm talking $2,000 to $3,000 every other week. New clothes, high-end skincare, weekend trips with friends, spa days, designer bags. She was spending like we were billionaires. I didn't say anything at first because I wanted her to heal. I thought she deserves to feel good about herself. If this helps, so be it. But then 6 months passed. I gently asked if she felt ready to start easing back into work, maybe part-time. She completely shut down. She started crying, telling me she wasn't ready, that she was still struggling. I backed off. A year passed. I brought up work again, carefully and cautiously. Another breakdown. She told me she couldn't go back, that it was my fault she was in this state in the first place, that I was pressuring her. Meanwhile, she was still spending thousands of dollars a month. Our once perfectly managed credit cards were suddenly maxed out every month, and I was the one paying them off. And it wasn't just the money. She stopped helping with anything. I was working long hours and coming home to a house that was a mess. Dishes in the sink, laundry piled up, the bed unmade. I was doing everything. Cooking, cleaning, working, handling the bills, all while she either slept all day, scrolled through social media, or went out with her friends. I told myself she's sick. She needs time. After another year of this, I tried a different approach. I told her that if she didn't feel ready to work, maybe we could start our family instead. We were financially stable, and if she didn't want to work, she could be a stay-at-home mom. She agreed. I was relieved. I thought, finally, we have a plan. For the past year, we have been trying to conceive. We did fertility testing, and the doctors told us both we were healthy. Just keep trying. Then, last week, I found something that shattered me. I was driving her car to work when I dropped my phone. I pulled over, reached under the seat, and found a pack of birth control pills. I just stared at them. My heart sank. At first, I told myself there had to be an explanation. Maybe they were old. Maybe they weren't hers. But deep down, I already knew the truth. I turned the car around and went straight home. I confronted her, holding up the pills, and asked, "Why are you taking birth control if we're trying to have a baby?" She immediately broke down. She started sobbing and screaming that I was forcing her to have kids, that I was controlling her, that I was abusive. I was stunned. I had never pressured her. She had agreed to this. She had said she wanted kids. If she had changed her mind, why hadn't she just told me? I told her how betrayed I felt, how I had been working nonstop to support us while she refused to contribute in any way, how I had been paying off $10,000 in credit card bills every month while she lived like a queen, how I had been doing everything around the house because she claimed she was too mentally unwell to lift a finger, while she was going on trips, shopping, and having the time of her life. And instead of addressing any of it, she turned it all back on me. She screamed that it was my fault she wasn't working, that I had broken her, that I was a terrible husband for even questioning her choices. Then she told me to leave. She said it was detrimental to her mental health to share a space with me, her supposed abuser. I was so stunned, I just left. I packed a bag and went to our vacation home, where I've been staying ever since. I feel so torn. On one hand, I know mental illness is real. I know she is struggling. I don't want to abandon her if she is genuinely sick. But on the other hand, I can't shake the feeling that I have been manipulated for years. She has refused to take responsibility for anything. She refuses to work. She refuses to contribute to our home. She refuses to be honest with me. She refuses to even try to get better. Instead, She just takes and takes and takes, and the second I question it, I'm suddenly an abuser. I feel so used. I feel betrayed. I feel like I have nothing left to give. I want to leave, but I feel so guilty. I promised through sickness and health. But what happens when the sickness is destroying me? Reddit. AITA for wanting to divorce my wife.